Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Weddings Unscripted. You're my beautiful co-host, Vanna White.
I feel like that would have been a cool job, actually. Like getting to spin like tiles around.
Kristin Kaplan, come on down.
Although I wonder too, like, would she have gotten bored after about, I don't know, the first year of doing that? Because she's been doing it forever.
Forever.
She probably gets paid well, so she doesn't care.
Is she still doing it? I should ask my girl.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we have a fun topic for you because it's now the middle of summer, which means engagement season is actually not that far away.
It's like just around the corner.
Because we all know, come about Thanksgiving-ish or late fall, that's about when all of next year's couples, especially the ones for next summer and fall, will start inquiring. So Everybody knows that between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day is the time of year when you'll probably receive the largest amount of inquiries.
Yep.
And I know I used to get a ton. Mine were always like right after Christmas. Like that week right after Christmas was like crazy, which was always tough because I was
There's
like,
no break.
I'm trying to enjoy Christmas, but yay for inquiries. So here we go. So it's always tricky. But we want to talk about the things you can do now.
So even though you're at the dead end of summer, you're probably absolutely exhausted between if you have kids home, you've just done tons of weddings. There are some things that you should already be thinking about in order to get ready to maximize your profits for this year's engagement season.
Yes. So why don't, Ginny, you start with one and then I'll give one.
First of all, I'm just going to do the elephant in the room. You should update your website, people.
Of course, the website and branding strategist is going to be like, folks.
Well, it amazes me how people don't maximize the opportunity of doing that before wedding season. I feel like people really think about branding in January, but at that rate, it's kind of too late for a wedding.
Yeah. So by the time you actually get the brand up, it's going to be like March.
Right. And I'm not saying like you need to rebrand. I'm just saying you need to just update your website.
Tweak the website a bit.
Just update your galleries, make sure your contact information, make sure your contact page works, all of your links and all of that works. Make sure your content is really fresh because newly engaged couples want to see the most recent weddings and events that you have worked on. They don't want to see something from 2016.
Yeah. Now is the time to be reaching out to your photographers in the summertime from all of your spring weddings and asking for images. So that, or if you're a photographer yourself, go and call them for yourself, but then so that you can, over the course of the rest of the summer and the early fall, get those galleries, those new galleries up on your site.
And I have a tip because I know it's like update your website. That's like this huge task, right? Just take a piece of paper or make an Asana or a Trello, whatever your organizational tool of choice is. Just make one long list. And as you think of something that needs to be done on your website, just write it down. Yep. You don't have to do everything in a day and then allocate yourself 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour a week. Just 1 hour a week for the next 4 weeks or however, and just knock it out. Just do a power hour, do what you can, and then do more the next week and the next week. And that way, in a month's time, you'll have gotten all of your website updates done and over with until you have to do it again in a couple more months.
Exactly. Because once you get those weddings, you're rocking and rolling in the fall wedding season, you're not going to have time to do all this stuff. So doing it now before we get into fall wedding season, you'll be ready to rock and roll.
Because you want to spend that time with those fall wedding clients and then actually working on selling, like being engaged in your sales process, booking those clients and not worrying about
all this stuff, all these little tweaks you could have made if the summer was slow.
Stuff. Or make if you have a VA, this is great. If you run out of stuff, I hear people all the time, well, I don't know what to tell my VA to do. This is what you can tell your VA to do. This is perfect. They can even reach out to the photographers on your behalf. Yeah. Just give them a list of your weddings over the last 6 months.
Exactly. So I'll do the other giant elephant in the room for myself, which is time to think about your pricing for next year. Because again, you don't want to wait until half your year's booked up and you're partially through engagement season to be like, oh, shoot, probably should have raised my rates before this.
Right.
Now is the perfect time to start crunching the numbers for next year and thinking about what you want to make and thinking about what your expenses are going to be and adding all that good stuff up so that you can see what your prices need to be for the following year before you start getting all those new inquiries that are going to start coming in the late fall and early winter.
Yeah.
So start thinking about that one early.
Yeah, absolutely.
What other ones you got, Jen?
Think about like your onboarding process.
Ooh, yes.
You know, how can you elevate that experience? You know, did you struggle last year during engagement season? Think about the times when you're booking multiple people at once. What are the headache? What are the pain points? What are the things that you don't have time for that are taking up the most time? You know, how can you streamline that a little bit more? How can you make your processes a little bit easier?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I always think in addition to the onboarding, a good thing to take a look at this time of year is your sales process. Is that something that can be tweaked or needs a little work? Go and look at your inquiry response. Like, what are you sending to a bride or a groom when they inquire with you? What does that look like? Does that need to be tweaked? Can the copy be better in that inquiry response? What does your sales consult look like? What does the process look like of getting to the sales consult? Is there anything you could be doing better there? This is a great time to look at your metrics and look at, okay, how many people are inquiring? What percentage of those are, getting to the next stage in the process, whether that's a phone call or a consult? What are the percentage of those that are booking? And start thinking, how can I increase those numbers across the board? What could I be doing in the next engagement season or trying to up-level my sales process to book more people that are coming through my door?
Absolutely. And what you just said was kind of coincides with what I was going to say next is do an audit of last year's engagement season, not your year as a whole, but just those months of the engagement season, and ask yourself, how many inquiries did you get versus percentage of bookings? And then out of those percentage of bookings, how many were actually your ideal client?
Ooh, yes.
So
that's a good one. And how can you improve that in the next round? How can you better target those ideal clients in the process to make sure that you're attracting them and booking them?
Right. Absolutely. So those are some just really good ideas to think about as you're nearing the end of summer. Make a little list, keep a tab on this video, refer back to it later if you need to. But these are some really important things that you can be doing now in order to maximize your profits and your sanity.
Yes, because I know how it goes. It's like we start hearing everybody in the wedding industry in that late fall suddenly be like, oh, I'm so busy, and now engagement season's upon us, and now the holidays are coming, and how am I going to complain
about making money, right? We don't want to be online at Christmas and being like, oh, all these people keep emailing me,
Instead, start looking and thinking about this stuff now so that you're ready and you can enjoy your fall wedding season and be prepared and ready to rock and roll for engagement season.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have any questions or tips or need any tips on how to better do this, drop it in the comments. Make a post in our Facebook group, Wedding Business Bosses. Make a post, tag one of us. If we're not seeing it and you want our direct feedback, just simply tag one of us.
Sometimes we can't keep up with all of the posts going on, but if you have a question and you want our opinion on it, just give us a tag.
Yeah.
Be happy to help.
Absolutely. So we will talk to you guys later for next week for another episode of Weddings Unscripted. Make sure you're in our Facebook group, you're following us on Instagram, and that you give this video a thumbs up and give us some comments. Yay. And we will talk to you guys soon. Bye.